Hey guys, welcome to another video for 7A Math online class. And for this week, for this video, we're going over 5.3, adding, subtracting, unlike fraction. So what is unlike fraction? Unlike fraction are fractions with different denominators. What does that mean? What do they look like? Well, unlike fraction, it looks like this. We have 1/2 and 4/5. 1/2 and we have 4/5. As you can see, they have different denominators. One has 2 and the other has 5. Let's have another example. Let's say we have 7/9 and 3/13. Again, they have different denominator. One has 9 and the other has 13. Now, we're going to use unlike fraction with two things we learned previously. So let's go back to 4.4. Let's review finding the LCD. Again, check 4.4 for more details. You can check the video too. So what is LCD again? It's least common denominator. What do LCD mean? It's least common denominator. What do least common denominator mean? Well, we can be more specific, and instead of least common denominator, we can say that is the least common multiple of the denominator. So basically, we're finding the LCM of the denominator. Hopefully you know what LCM is by now. Again, multiple is just multiplication table. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Those are the multiples of 2. You can find the multiples of 3, 4, 5, 6, things like that, right? So now we're finding the least common denominator of these two fractions, 2/5 and 4/6. So what are the LCD we're looking for? We're looking for the LCD of 5 and 6. Now, do you guys remember how to find the LCM of any number? Well, if you guys didn't, so the first step is look at the higher denominator. So which one's the higher denominator, 5 or 6? It's going to be 6, right? So now our second step is find multiples of that number. Sorry for my horrible handwriting. So we're going to find the multiples of 6. So we have 6, 12, but why do we do so? Well, this is like a 2A step, but I'll put it on step 3. Step 3 is the first multiple that the other number divides is LCM. So essentially, for step 3, the number, the multiple of 6 that 5 divides is your LCM. So you must be good with your multiplication table for this section. Okay? You can check your notebook if you guys don't know your multiples. The back of your notebook or your multiplication table handy guide. So we have 6, 12. What's the next number? 18. But while we're counting, you're supposed to think to yourself, can 5 divide that number? So when we go 6, can 5 divide 6 equally? No, we're going to have a remainder. Same thing goes with 12. 5 can go to 12, but we will get a remainder of 2. So that's for 18. So let's move on to 21. Can 5 go to 21? No. Oh shoot. 6, 12, 18, not 21. 24. Can 5 go to 24? No, it can't. So we move on to 30. Can 5 divide 30? Yes. So your LCM is, or your LCD is 30. Now let's move on to the other review, finding the equivalent fraction using the LCD. So there's basically 2 steps here. One is find LCD, and second step is I can't really explain this in word, I'll just show it to you guys. So first of all, let's find the LCD. Here we have 14 and 21. So the first step is look at the bigger number, in this case 21, and find the multiples of that number. So let's start with 21. Can 14 divide 21? No, it can't. So we move on to 42. Can 14 divide 42? Yes. Yes, it can. So that means your LCD is 42. Now, let's move on to the next step. The next step is your end goal. You want to change both fraction so that instead of 14 and 21, they'll have a denominator of 42. So your end goal is you want both fraction to be something over 42. So how do we do that? Well, this is where your math skills will be put into test. And this is one of the things why I didn't like fraction as a kid. So let's start with 12 over 14. You're going to think to yourself, what number do we need to multiply to 14 to get to 42? Well, if you do it properly, you will be able to know that if you multiply 13 times 14, I mean 3 times 14, you'll get 42. And since we're multiplying the denominator with 3, we also have to multiply the numerator with 3. So let's multiply. 3 times 12 is 36. 3 times 14 is 42. Now you do the same thing to the other fraction, 13 over 21. So in this case, what number do we need to multiply to 21 to go to 42? Now you might be tempted to say 3, but that's wrong. Okay, it's right here. 2 times 21 times 1 is 21, and then 42 should be 21 times 2. So we multiply 2. And since we're multiplying the bottom number with 2, we also need to multiply the top with 2. 13 times 2 is 26. 21 times 2 is 42. And that's it. And that's all your final. Those are the two answers you will show me if I ask you guys to find me an equivalent fraction. Okay? However, this is not the main topic of this section, so we need to continue on. Let's do some story time. Suppose you have a pizza. You bought 2 pizza of the same size. The first pizza is cut into 4 and the other is cut into 6 slices. So let's draw it. Here's your awesome pizza, equivalent in looking ugly. Just kidding. Now, the first pizza is cut into 4 slices, and then other pizza is cut into 6 slices. The first pizza you ate 3 slices out of the 4 slices. I'm gonna shade it right now, or coloring it. And then the second pizza you only ate 1 slices. Now with video editing skills, I can make it look nicer. Wow. Now I just went to the next slide. Just for you guys wondering, how did I do that? So now we have nice looking pizza. And from this picture we can see that the first pizza can be represented as 3/4. And the second pizza can be represented as 1/6. Now, can we add them? Can we add 3/4 plus 1/6? And the answer is no, we can't. Now, you might be wondering why. They still have 4 slices. I mean, you still ate 4 slices, right? That's a fact. You ate 4 slices of pizza. I'm not telling you that's wrong. However, we're now talking about different size of slices, okay? This is the key part. We're talking about different size of slices. You can we cannot say that we ate 4 slices out of 4, nor can we say that we ate 4 slices out of 6. As you can see, this slice on the on the 6 slice, one slice of the one slice of the pizza that is cut into 6 is way smaller than the pizza what than the one slice of the pizza that is cut into 4 slices. You can see that if you overlap the slice of the pizza that is cut into 6 to the pizza that is cut into 4, it's not going to fill the whole thing. And the vice versa, you cannot say that you ate 4 slices out of 6, because if you put if you put the 3 slices of the pizza that is cut into 4 into the pizza that is cut into 6, it's gonna go over 3 slices. So this is the 3 slices of the pizza that is cut into 6, and this is the pizza that is cut into four. This is the three slices of those pizza. You can see that they're not even equivalent. So we can't say that. So what do we do? Well, what we can do is we can cut the pizza into equivalent slices so that we can add. So I'll show it to you. So this pizza will be cut into more slices. And that's how you cut the pizza even more. With more video editing, boom. Oh, here's the thing. See, as I told you guys, we cannot convert these two pizza into the same amount. So we need to cut it more. Okay, so I just cut it here, and with more video editing, wow, my pizza is cut into 12 slices. So so let's count the pizza. This is now going to be 9 over 12, and then second pizza is now going to be 2 over 12. Can we put them together? Yes. Now we can add. So 9 plus, again, I want you guys to combine the numerator and leave the denominator the same. 9 plus 2 is 11, and then 12 stays the same. So now we can say that you're so hungry that you ate 11 slices out of the 12 slice pizza. But drawing pizza, drawing circles, and then shading and drawing lines is not for everybody. Okay, it's not for me. As you can see, my drawing is a bit trash, if I do say so myself. So, is there a better way to add fraction? Because I don't want to add fraction picture. Yes, and the answer is yes. Yes, there is. So let's learn the 5 steps on adding, subtracting, unlike fraction. So there's like a step 0. Step 0 is check your denominators first. So first of all, you want to check your denominators. Whether you have a unlike fraction or fraction with the same denominator. But since we're in section 5.3, your fraction will have unlike fraction. Will have different denominators. So the first step is you're going to find the least common denominator. That's why we reviewed that part. The next part is we find the equivalent fraction using the LCD. The third step is we add slash subtract the numerators. The fifth step is keep the denominator the same. And then simplify the fraction. So let's do an example. Here we have 2 over 5 plus 4 over 15. Now, I know some of you guys will just already add these two fractions together and do something crazy like this. Where's my pen? Oh, there. This is the most common fraction people will give me. 6 over 20. And that's wrong. Why is it wrong? Well, first of all, the denominator, the most key part is the denominator are not the same. One is 5 and the other is 15. The other part is your denominator does not change. Okay? So you cannot add them or subtract them. Your denominator does not change when you're adding and subtracting. Now, how do we do the right thing anyway? So the first thing is you find the LCD. Let's put it closer. Finding the LCD. So what is the LCD of 5 and 15? Well, we're going to use the bigger denominator, in this case 15, to find multiples of that number. So let's start with 15. Can 5 go to 15? Yes. 3 times 5 is 15. So your answer is 15. Now, your goal is you want to change 2 over 5 and 4 over 15 such that they have 15 as a denominator. That's your goal right now. So you want to change both fractions such that the denominator is 15 for both of them. So we have 2 over 5 plus 4 over 15. So let's start with 2 over 5. So what number do we multiply to 5 to go to 15? Well, that's 3, of course. Since we're multiplying the denominator with 3, you also need to multiply the numerator with 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. Now the other fraction. Do we really need to change anything on this fraction? Our right fraction? No. We can just leave it as is, 4 over 15. Now, critical thinking. Why is this one, why is 4 over 15, we can leave it alone, but 2 over 5, well, we need to change it. Well, that's because 2 over 5 does not have a denominator of 15. So we need to change the fraction. Anyway, since here's a tip, okay? Tip. As at this point, you will have LCD in 3 places. So at this point of time, your LCD should appear in 3 location. Okay? The first location is right here. Second location is on the fraction, and then right here. This is not counted, okay? So right now, your LCD should appear at least in 3 places. At the top and the very bottom. Anyway, since 6 over 15 and 4 over 15 have the same denominator, we can add now. 6 plus 4 over 15. Well, what's 6 plus 4? Well, that's 10, of course. And 15 stays the same. So our final answer should be 10 over 15, or you can simplify that to 2 over 3. Let's have another example. Here we have 1/2, 1 or Some people call it 1 over 2 plus 2/3, or some people call it 2 over 3. So first of all, step 1, find the LCD. Let's find the LCD. In this case, your LCD should be starting with 3. So can 2 go to 3? No. So we move on to 6. Can 2 go to 6? Yes. So your LCD is 6. So your angle is 6 and 6. So let's start with the left fraction, 1/2. What number do we multiply to 2 to go to 6? Well, that's 3, of course. And then some people, this is where one of the common mistake appears. Okay? If you guys didn't add it already, straightforward like horizontal, and you're changing the LCD, this is the most common mistake people do when they change LCD equivalent fraction using LCD. So they do this way, right? They multiply the denominator correctly. 3 times 2 is 6. What they do is they bring down the numerator, 1. Is that correct? It's just multiplying the denominator and then bringing down the numerator, the correct way. Well, the answer is no. You're missing the important step. Since you're multiplying the denominator with 3, you also need to multiply the numerator with 3. So we have 3 times 2 as your denominator and 3 times 1 as your numerator. So 3 times 1 is 3. Now we move on to the next fraction. Can we bring down 2/3 as 2/3? No, because this fraction, 2/3, 2 over 3, does not have a denominator of 6. So we cannot just bring it down. So let's multiply the denominator 3 with what number to get 6? That's 2, of course. So we also multiply the top with 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. So now we have 3 over 6 plus 4 over 6. Combine both numerator, 3 plus 4, all over 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. And you keep the denominator the same, 6. So we have 7 over 6. Now let's do some subtraction. Addition is pretty simple, right? Once you get to this part where your denominator is the same, that's the simple part. The only hard part on this adding and subtracting, unlike fraction, is this 3 steps. You find your LCD and you find your equivalent fraction. Those 2 steps, I mean. Anyway, let's do some subtraction. Here we have 4 over 5 minus 3 over 10. So your LCD is going to be 10. Because 10 times 1 is 10, 5 times 2 is 10. Simple as that. So now, let's change our numerator such that they have a denominator of 10. So we have 4 over 5. What number do we multiply to 5 to go to 10? Well, that's 2. So we also multiply the numerator with 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Now, do we need to change 3 over 10? Not really. We can leave it as is. So we can bring it down. So our new problem is now going to be 8 over 10 minus 3 over 10. Combine your numerator. 8 minus 3 is 5. Leave 10 as is. So now we have 5 over 10 or 1/2. Again, that's when you reduce it. And then let's have another one. 5 over 6 minus 2 over 9. So here we have different denominators. So first of all, find the LCD. What is the LCD? Well, we're going to use 9. Can 6 go to 9? No. How about 18? Can 6 go to 18? Yes. So your LCD is 18. Now we move on. Our goal is, again, we want our denominator to be about 18. So we have 5 over 6 and 2 over 9. For 5 over 6, the number we need to multiply to 6 is going to be 3. So we also multiply the numerator with 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. Now next we go to the next problem. We have 2 over 9. Here we multiply 9 with 2 to go to 18. So we also multiply the numerator with 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 9 times 2 is 18. So now we have 5 over 18 minus 4 over 18. Now let's subtract 15 minus 4 all over 18. 15 minus 4 is what? 11. Leave 18 as is. Now I want you guys to let's do some practice. I want you guys to pause the video here and try to do these 4 problems by yourself. Okay, hopefully you paused the video. I also gave you some minutes to do so. So let's try them together. Let's start with A. Here we have 7 over 8 plus 1/3. So your LCD must be 24. If you got 24 already, you're on the right step. Now, end goal is 24, both 18 and 3, 8 and 3. So for 7 over 8, the number we need to multiply is going to be 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. How about the other side? Well, the number we need to multiply 3 is going to be 8. So you also need to multiply the top number with 8. 1 times 8 is 8. So we have 21 over 24 plus 8 over 24. So once you're here, you're already almost done. You're halfway there. You're past the hard part. If you trip up here, then that's like, I don't know. I don't have a good metaphor. Anyway, let's combine. 21 plus 8 all over 24. 21 plus 8 is 29. Keep the denominator the same, so your answer should have been 29 over 24. Or 1 and 5 over 24. Now let's move on. Here we have 5 over 6 minus 1 over 4. So let's try the LCD. What is the LCD? It's going to be 12. Now, if you answer 24, that's okay, but that's not the right one. So we have 5 over 6 and 1 over 4. Your LCD should have been 12. So here the number we multiply to 6 should be 2. So we also multiply the numerator with 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12. How about the other fraction, 1 over 4? What number do we multiply to 4 to get to 12? That's 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So now we have 10 over 12 minus 3 over 12. Let's subtract 10 minus 3 all over 12. What you're going to get is 7 over 12. And that's your final answer. Hopefully you got 7 over 12 for B. And we move on to C. We have 7 over 10 plus 4 over 5. So again, you wanna find the LCD. In this case, what's the LCD? Going to be 10. Now if you put 50, that's a lot of work for you guys. But if you have 10, you only need to change. So again, our fraction should have 10 as the denominator. Now, do we need to change 7 over 10? No, we don't need to change. We can leave it as is. So we have 7 over 10. How about the right fraction, 4 over 5? Do we need to change 4? Yes. Since we're multiplying 5 by 2, what number do we multiply 4 with? 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. Let's add. 7 plus 8 is 15 over 10. Or 3 over 2. Or 1 and 1/2. So you can give me improper fraction, a simplified fraction, or you can even give me a mixed number. Again, it don't really matter for me at this point of time. However, when you go to 8th grade, it does matter, okay? So I want you guys to be prepared and don't blame me when you go, oh, sir, my 7th grade teacher never told me to simplify a fraction. On your 8th grade teacher. Anyway, let's move on to the last part, D. 3 over 4 minus 1 over 8. So your LCD should have been what? It's going to be 8. So here, 3 over 4, the number we need to multiply to 4 should be 2. Again, your goal is to have both denominator 8. Since we're multiplying the denominator 2, we also need to multiply 3 with 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. Now, do we need to change 1 over 8? No. So we can just leave it as is. 6 minus 1 over 8. 6 minus 1 is 5. Leave the denominator the same, and we have 5 over 8. Now, let's continue on to the last part of this video. Mixed numbers with different denominators. So like adding fractions with the same denominator, the first step should always be you need to change your mixed numbers to improper fraction. Okay? First, change any mixed number to improper. So let's review. Let's change 2 and 5 over 6 to an improper fraction. So first, multiply the denominator with the whole number to get 12 and add the numerator to get 17. So your improper fraction should be 17 over 6. Let's try adding fraction. Here we have 1 and 5 over 6 plus 2 and 1 over 4. First of all, change the mixed numbers to improper. Multiply 6 times 1 is 6 plus 5 is what? 11. So this mixed number is now 11 over 6. Plus, let's move on to the next mixed number. Multiply 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9 over 4. So now we have 11 over 6 plus 9 over 4. So what's the LCD? Now we can find the LCD. Now we go on to step 1 of adding and subtracting unlike fraction. So LCD is 12. So for 11 over 6, the number we need to multiply to both numerator and denominator is going to be 2. So now we have 22 over 12 plus, how about 9 over 8? What do we need to multiply? It's going to be 3. So 9 times 3 is 27. 4 times 3 is 12. Now you can see the part where if you use bigger LCD than the required one, you're going to multiply big numbers, okay? So always use the LCD. Suppose you use 24. You're going to multiply 6 with 4 instead of 2. Way harder. Especially if you don't use calculator. Now we have 22 over 12 plus 27 over 12. Add those two together. 22 plus 27 all over 12 should give you guys 49 over 12. And you can change that to a mixed number if you guys want. Let's do another one. Another example. Here we have 3 and 1/2 plus or minus, my bad, 1 and 2 over 5. What do we do? First of all, we need to change the mixed number to improper fraction. Do you guys remember how? We just did 5 minutes ago. Multiply and then add. Multiply and add. So 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2 minus 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7 over 5. And now you might be thinking to yourself, wow, I did it wrong. No, you did it correct. Okay? Trust your intuition. This is what I always tell my students. Trust your intuition, because most of the time your intuition is based on things you learned previously. Some people will probably think on this part, 7 over 2 minus 7 over 5, I did something wrong. But this is correct, okay? In fractions, you can have the same numerator and different denominators. The only thing you really need to do is you need to change the denominator so that they're the one that looks the same. So let's find the LCD of 2 and 5, which should be 10. Why 10? Because let's start with 5. Can 2 go to 5? No. How about 10? Can 2 go to 10? Yes. So your LCD is 10. Now let's multiply the right fraction or the left fraction with 5, because again our goal is you want our denominator to be both at 10. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 7 is 35. Now we're moving on to the right fraction, 7 over 5. The number we multiply to 5 should be 2. So we also multiplied the numerator with 2. 7 times 2 is 14. 5 times 2 is 10. So now we have 35 over 10 minus 14 over 10. Combine numerators. 35 minus 14 should be 21 over 10. And that's it. That's what you can give me, 21 over 10. And you're correct. Now let's do some practice. I want you guys to try doing these two problems by yourself. And then we'll do it together. Pause the video, look at the examples and try doing those two by yourself. Okay, let's try. So first of all, multiply or add, or add or multiply. Multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply and add, multiply and add. Sounds like multiply, add. 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. So your LCD should be 12. So here we multiply 3, 3, and for the right fraction we multiply 4 and 4. So we have 27 over 12 plus 16 over 12. If you get this part, you're almost home run right there. Your home run is when you do this. 27 plus 16 over 12. Once you did this, you're home run. Because the only thing you can do is add. So 27 plus 16 is 43. over 12. You keep the denominators the same. You keep the denominator the same on the last part. Here, we're not keeping the denominator the same, okay? It looks obviously multiply and add, multiply and add. So your LCG should be what? 18. Multiply both numerator and denominator with 2. So for the right fraction, what do we multiply? 3. 9 times 19 times 2 is 38 minus 33 over 18. So if 38 minus 33 should give you guys 5 over, not 11, over 18. And that's your final answer. So hopefully you got this both mixed numbers correct. If not, then just review again and again and again until you got it. Okay? There's uh, a lot of mixed numbers worksheets online. If you guys want, I can send you guys the link down in the description. And that's it for this video. I'll see you again. Goodbye.